The next time you see me, I might be engaged. Okay. So if I'm doing it a little bit slower, let me do it slow. Yeah. So I will say, yes, we're dating. We're enjoying each other. We are very close.
And is she the only person you're dating now?
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm exclusive.
How does it feel to be booed up for cuffing season?
I love it. I love it. You know why? For many reasons. I had been divorcing for a whole year and a little bit over a year.
Y'all, what if I told you that while the world was counting down to midnight, popping champagne, and posting glittery New Year's selfies, one party quietly set the internet on fire? Because allegedly, and we're saying allegedly, private photos from a New Year's Eve party didn't just leak, they exploded. And the two names at the center of the storm? Porsha Williams, Simon Guobadia. Yes, the same exes, the same divorce, the same heartbreak everyone thought was already buried. According to online whispers, the party was elite. Dim lights, loud music, cameras everywhere, maybe two everywhere. And then suddenly, screenshots started circulating. Zoomed in moments, paused frames, angles fans weren't supposed to see. And the internet asked the question nobody was ready for. If this chapter is closed, why does it look unfinished? Because allegedly, what fans saw didn't feel friendly. It didn't feel random. And it definitely didn't feel like two people who were emotionally done. Social media went into full investigation mode. Slow motion breakdowns. Side-by-side comparisons. Comments dissecting every inch of body language like it was a crime scene. And the most heartbreaking part? This is the same woman who said she wanted peace, stability, consistency for her child. Yet here she is, once again, dragged into speculation, judgment, and public scrutiny, all because of a few photos that were never meant to leave that night. Supporters are saying, let her live. Critics are saying, truth always finds a way out. And Porsha? Silent. Simon? Silent. And when celebrities say nothing, the internet gets louder. So now the question isn't just whether those photos were leaked. The question is far more painful. Can a relationship ever truly end, or does it just learn how to hide better?
Women before, but not dated.
Yeah, and especially in the public eye.
Yeah, it felt liberating to me to live out loud in that moment. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just know that it felt right. I felt comfortable. She was down for it.
Buckle up, because what you're about to hear is the kind of story that makes your stomach drop, your jaw hit the floor, and leaves your mind racing long after the screen goes dark. The world celebrated New Year's Eve with glittering champagne flutes, fireworks painting the sky, and Instagram stories full of joy, laughter, and the kind of curated perfection that makes ordinary people feel small. But behind the glamour, behind the cameras, and away from the polite smiles, one party allegedly became the epicenter of a scandal that nobody saw coming. Sources say that private photos leaked from this exclusive New Year's Eve gathering have ignited whispers, gasps, and a storm of speculation online. And at the eye of the storm? Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia, two names that the world believed had closed their chapter, that heartbreak was behind them, and that the story of their love and loss was already written. Allegedly, the leaked images tell a different story. A story where casual laughter may hide unresolved tension, where smiles might mask an undercurrent of old emotions, and where the cameras, seemingly innocent, captured moments that some say should have never existed. The night was glamorous, lights dimmed just enough to make the room shimmer, and the music was loud, filling every corner, every hallway, every whispered conversation. And yet, the most shocking details were not about the decor or the extravagant outfits. The details were in the tiny interactions, the way bodies leaned, the glances that lingered too long, the unspoken familiarity that had fans asking the question nobody was ready for. If the divorce is finalized, if the heartbreak has been processed, why does it feel like the story isn't over? Screenshots began circulating online almost immediately. Allegedly, insiders claim some frames show Simon and Porsha laughing in ways that seem intimate, gestures that fans insist were too familiar to be friendly, and moments of closeness that, according to observers, suggest unfinished business. Slow-motion clips were dissected on forums, social media timelines flooded with commentary, and every angle was analyzed as if the internet itself had become a courtroom. Each viewer became an armchair detective, searching for hidden clues in every paused frame. Every move was scrutinized, every smirk debated, and suddenly, what was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into a stage for rumor, speculation, and judgment. The tragedy is undeniable. Porsha, a woman who has openly admitted she wants stability, consistency, and peace for her daughter, allegedly found herself thrust back into the vortex of public opinion. Her carefully constructed life, already fragile after divorce, was suddenly being dissected, questioned, and weaponized by fans and critics alike. Social media divided into camps, some saying, let her live, let her breathe, "This is none of our business," while others insisted, "The truth always finds a way out." Allegedly, the same images that some labeled innocent were, in the eyes of many, proof that a chapter thought closed was still being written, edited, and dramatized right before the public eye. Simon, meanwhile, remained silent. Allegedly, he said nothing to clarify, nothing to deny, and nothing to confirm. Silence, in this case, amplified the storm. When a celebrity stays silent, the rumor mills roar louder, filling in the gaps with conjecture, speculation, and the kind of narrative the internet thrives on. And as the night drew on, as champagne bottles emptied and the final fireworks exploded against the night sky, the silence from both parties spoke louder than any statement ever could. Fans debated endlessly. Were these leaks accidental, a careless phone snapshot, a friend sharing moments too freely? Or was it intentional, a strategic move to stir curiosity, to reignite old feelings, to put two people back in headlines when they had already tried to move on? Allegedly, insiders suggest it could be either, and perhaps even both, the perfect storm of coincidence and chaos. The emotional intensity of the images, the rumored interactions, and the unresolved tension created what some are calling a public heartbreak renaissance. Porsha, who has spent years carefully navigating the challenges of fame, divorce, and parenting, allegedly faced the impossible, being judged for private moments captured without consent, being dissected for laughter, gestures, and smiles that meant more to her than the public could ever know. The tragedy is not just in the images themselves, but in what they represent, the collision of past and present, love and loss, privacy and fame. What makes this story so gut-wrenching, according to those following every frame, is that it's not just about scandal. It's about human emotion, heartbreak, and the messy truth of relationships that the world never truly understands. Allegedly, Porsha's intentions were pure, to enjoy a night, to celebrate a new year, to be herself. But the internet has a way of turning even the simplest moments into a spectacle, a courtroom, a verdict passed in real time. Every paused clip, every zoomed-in frame became a weapon in the court of public opinion, and every whisper of closeness became fuel for debate. And yet, amidst all the allegations, the leaked frames, and the social media chaos, one truth remains: no statement has been made. No confirmation. No denial. And in that silence, tragedy grows. Because when silence meets speculation, the narrative is controlled not by facts, but by emotion, gossip, and the relentless curiosity of millions of watchers around the globe. The heartbreak, the alleged closeness, the whispers, it all paints a picture of a night that was supposed to be fleeting, but has now become legendary in its emotional intensity. Some argue it is proof that certain connections never truly end, that the past lingers unresolved, even when people move on publicly. Others insist it's just coincidence, a misinterpreted smile, a casual laugh, an innocent moment blown out of proportion. But make no mistake, the alleged New Year's Eve photos have done something undeniable. They've reignited conversation, tension, speculation, and emotion surrounding two people whose story the public thought it already knew. And that, in itself, is tragedy. Not the photos, not the laughs, not even the silence, but the reminder that no matter how much people try to control their narrative, the world will always have a voice, and the internet will always write the story for them if they stay silent. Allegedly, the night set the stage for more questions than answers. Fans continue to debate, insiders whisper, and the social media storm shows no sign of slowing. And while the world moves on with fireworks and champagne, the echo of that night lingers, a reminder that some stories refuse to stay closed, that some chapters refuse to remain quiet, and that silence itself can be louder than any confession. The alleged scandal is only just beginning. The tragedy, the heartbreak, the drama, and the whispers, they've only just been unleashed. And in a world obsessed with celebrity, image, and gossip, this storm is far from over. Allegedly, nothing is what it seems, and the next chapter is waiting to be written in the comments, the forums, and the endless scroll of social media. The night didn't end with fireworks. Allegedly, the real spectacle was happening behind closed doors, in whispers, glances, and moments that the world wasn't supposed to witness. As the clock ticked past midnight, the leaked photos continued to circulate online, each one dissected, magnified, and analyzed frame by frame. Social media feeds became battlegrounds, with fans divided into camps that argued over what was innocent, what was too close, and what might hint at something neither Porsha nor Simon ever intended to reveal. Every subtle touch, every fleeting smile, every angle that showed familiarity sparked thousands of comments, threads, and debates. Allegedly, a night that was meant to celebrate new beginnings had instead unleashed a storm that nobody could contain. Insiders whisper that the atmosphere at the party was electric, yet strangely tense. Laughter that seemed normal to the untrained eye allegedly carried a weight that fans could feel through the screen. Observers claim that Porsha and Simon's interactions weren't just friendly gestures. They were layered, loaded, and complicated. The type of gestures that suggest the past is still alive, even if publicly declared over. The way they looked at each other, one source allegedly told us it wasn't casual. It was history, emotion, unfinished conversations manifesting in body language. And while neither party confirmed anything, the images alone were enough to fuel a wildfire of gossip that spread across Instagram, Twitter, and every gossip forum imaginable. Some fans speculated that these photos revealed a side of Porsha that was deeply human, vulnerable, nostalgic, and perhaps, despite all odds, still entangled emotionally with someone she once loved. Others argued that Simon's demeanor in the pictures seemed just as layered, a mixture of familiarity, comfort, and a guarded defensiveness that only those who had been part of a long, public, and painful relationship could truly understand. Allegedly, the images capture what words cannot: the simultaneous pull of history and the push of reality, two forces colliding in a moment frozen on a camera sensor. The tragedy, according to multiple online commentators, lies not in the photos themselves, but in the public's reaction. Fans dissected every inch of space between them, every glance, every hand gesture, as though human emotion could be reduced to pixels. They created narratives faster than any source could deny them. Comments ranged from supportive, urging Porsha to ignore the hysteria, to accusatory, insinuating hidden reconciliations, secret feelings, and unfinished chapters. And through it all, Porsha remained silent, her social media untouched, her official statements non-existent. Simon followed suit. Their silence only intensified the speculation. The void became louder than any confession could have been. Allegedly, some of the most shocking elements of the leaked content weren't even in the photos. They were in the stories surrounding them, whispers from insiders claiming that certain party attendees noticed Porsha and Simon together more than expected, sharing inside jokes, leaning in closer than casual friends should, and exchanging glances that carried a weight only insiders could interpret. Whether or not these accounts are accurate, the effect was undeniable. The gossip machine was alive, vicious, and ravenous. Sources allege that the night sparked a massive internal conflict for Porsha. She had spent months publicly asserting independence, claiming a focus on herself, her daughter, and her life. She had embraced singlehood, declaring clearly that she wasn't seeking reconciliation, that her priority was stability and peace. And yet, the leaks allegedly threw her back into the center of public scrutiny, forcing her into a narrative she had carefully tried to avoid. It was the kind of tragedy that doesn't just hurt in the moment, it lingers, creating an invisible weight, a mental calculus she must navigate while the entire world watches, comments, and judges. Every analysis online drew people deeper into speculation. Allegedly, fans highlighted what they considered subtle signs of emotional entanglement: the way Porsha's hand allegedly rested near Simon's arm, the laugh caught mid-frame that seemed intimate, the gaze that lingered a second too long. Commentators labeled them as ghosts of the past, physical reminders that not all stories have clean endings. For some, it was proof that human emotions are messy, stubborn, and incapable of neat closure. For others, it became a moral debate. Was she doing wrong by appearing close to an ex, or was she merely being herself, an adult navigating her history in a private moment that the public was never meant to see? The tragedy deepened because it intersected with innocence. Her daughter, allegedly, was unaware of the storm. Fans imagined the emotional strain of raising a child under the public eye, of being judged for private choices, and the unfairness of it all. How do you celebrate a moment in your life if every smile, every laugh, and every glance is weaponized? That is the type of heartbreak gossip rarely captures, yet the internet instinctively senses it, feels it, and dramatizes it in forums, comments, and viral threads. And then, there's the undeniable intensity of fan theories. Allegedly, some suggested the night was a soft reconciliation, a momentary lapse of control, or a calculated effort to remain relevant in the public eye. Others believed it was nothing more than coincidence, two people who shared history, comfort, and mutual respect simply enjoying a New Year's Eve gathering. Yet the tragic reality remains the same. The images themselves do not lie about the chaos they created. The internet took the photos, magnified them, and turned them into a cultural phenomenon. Every rumor, every whispered allegation, every analysis of body language, every comment about eye contact, it built a courtroom of spectators who passed judgment in real time. Allegedly, the same images that could have been forgotten in the morning became a viral storm by midday, trending across social media, dissected by gossip accounts, discussed on podcasts, and replayed over and over by fans trying to make sense of what they were seeing. And still, the silence from Porsha and Simon amplified everything, proving that in the world of celebrity, quiet can sometimes speak louder than confession. The emotional weight of the situation, according to observers, was compounded by its timing. New Year's Eve is a night for renewal, for resolutions, for letting go of the past. Allegedly, the leaked content turned that night into a mirror of unresolved pain, old attachments, and public scrutiny, a combination so intense that even casual fans felt a ripple of empathy and shock. The tragedy was not just the alleged closeness captured in pixels, but the human reality behind it. Two people navigating history, heartbreak, and public expectation under the harsh light of scrutiny that never sleeps. Allegedly, this is the kind of scandal that doesn't need words. The photos, the glances, the whispers, they tell a story louder than any statement ever could. And in the aftermath, the questions multiply. Did something happen? Did nothing happen? Are the rumors true? Are they innocent? Or is the emotional undercurrent simply too strong to ignore? Fans argue endlessly, trying to fill the gaps, trying to understand what the images mean, trying to reconcile what is known publicly with what is allegedly captured privately. And then there's the relentless moral debate. Some say it's unfair to scrutinize private moments, alleging that Porsha deserves privacy and respect. Others insist that celebrities, by virtue of fame, invite speculation. The tragedy, as many commentators note, lies in the impossibility of winning. Whatever Porsha does, whatever Simon does, every gesture will be interpreted, every frame will be analyzed, and every interaction will be judged. Allegedly, the leaked photos became a symbol of that impossible standard, a reminder that celebrity life is both intensely public and profoundly personal, and that neither is ever fully in the person's control. Yet the drama doesn't end here. Allegedly, some attendees of the party hinted at further moments unseen by the public, claiming that what the photos show is only the tip of the iceberg. The speculation is fueled by statements that are never verified, claims that are never confirmed, and images that are already viral. Every fan theory, every forum discussion, every online debate adds layers to a story that may never have a definitive answer. And through it all, the tragedy remains human. Porsha, Simon, and even the people around them are caught in a vortex of attention, emotion, and gossip that no one could have anticipated. Allegedly, a night meant for joy became a night of whispers, a storm of online scrutiny, and a viral phenomenon that demonstrates just how fragile privacy is when fame intersects with history, heartbreak, and unresolved emotion. Even now, the images are still being shared, analyzed, and speculated over. Each click, each comment, each retweet adds weight to a narrative that is emotionally intense, profoundly tragic, and undeniably dramatic. Allegedly, the night's events have reopened conversations about love, closure, fame, and the relentless scrutiny celebrities endure. And even without a single statement from Porsha or Simon, the world continues to interpret, judge, and theorize, proving that silence in the age of social media is not absence, it is fuel. The alleged scandal is far from over. The heartbreak, the speculation, and the emotional intensity continue to reverberate. And while we may never know the full truth, the images, the glances, and the whispers will haunt social media, gossip feeds, and fan conversations for months to come. Allegedly, what was supposed to be a celebration became a cultural phenomenon, a viral storm, and a reminder that in the world of celebrity, emotion, history, and speculation are never separate, never quiet, and never forgiven. And so, as the world moves on from the fireworks, the champagne, and the resolutions, one question lingers. Can a story ever truly end when images, glances, and whispers refuse to stay buried? Allegedly, the answer is no. Because some nights, some moments, and some emotions are too powerful, too tragic, and too viral to ever be forgotten. What happened next allegedly changed everything. Sources claim that as the night progressed, the energy between Porsha and Simon intensified, though nobody knows exactly how. Attendees reportedly noticed subtle gestures, a hand brushing past another, a glance held a second too long, laughter that lingered where it shouldn't have, and the internet immediately picked up on it. Every rumor exploded online. Every whisper became a headline. Every frame of those so-called leaked photos was dissected, slowed down, and replayed countless times. Allegedly, a night that began with champagne and fireworks had transformed into a spectacle of history, heartbreak, and public scrutiny. Fans flooded social media, debating what they saw. Some insisted that the images were proof of emotional entanglement, suggesting a story that the world thought had ended was far from over. Others argued that it was coincidence, mere misinterpretation, and the natural closeness that two people who once shared everything could exhibit. But even without confirmation, the narrative spread like wildfire. Every comment, every theory, every thread built on the assumption that Porsha and Simon's past was still very much alive. Allegedly, what should have been private became public, and what was innocent became explosive. The tragedy is layered. Porsha, who has openly stated that consistency and stability are her priorities, suddenly found herself under intense public scrutiny again. Her past, her personal choices, and her very humanity were being debated by strangers online. Social media became a courtroom, and the verdict was already written before she could speak. Supporters urged calm, tweeting, "Let her live, let her breathe," while critics sensationalized the situation, claiming, "Truth always leaks." Allegedly, the leaked photos became more than images. They became symbols of the emotional chaos that fame can never protect someone from. According to insiders, the party continued into the early hours, and the alleged tension didn't dissipate. Every laugh and shared joke between Porsha and Simon was amplified in perception. Allegedly, moments that could have been considered mundane were now interpreted as secret messages, signs of unfinished business, and reminders that not all relationships are ever truly closed. Fans speculated endlessly, connecting dots that may or may not exist. Every gesture, every glance, every posture became evidence in a viral narrative that nobody could ignore. Some say that the intensity of the night was heartbreaking. Allegedly, Porsha smiled, laughed, and seemed at ease in Simon's presence, yet each moment carried the weight of their history, the pain of their separation, and the judgment of a public that never sleeps. It was a night that reminded viewers why celebrity life is both glamorous and tragic. The very moments that should remain private are dissected, analyzed, and weaponized. Allegedly, the same person who wanted peace for her daughter now had to navigate emotional explosions and viral gossip in real time. The alleged scandal also reignited discussions about loyalty, love, and closure. Fans debated whether Porsha and Simon could ever truly move on or whether some emotional bonds simply refused to die. Each alleged image, each frame of speculation, forced viewers to ask themselves, can history be rewritten, or does it only haunt us in whispers and glances? Allegedly, the leaked content transformed a private gathering into a global conversation about heartbreak, fame, and human vulnerability. Sources claim that by the morning, the internet was ablaze. Screenshots were shared across platforms, threads dissected in forums, and every angle of the alleged photos was analyzed as though it contained a confession. Fans speculated endlessly about what the images revealed, with some suggesting that the night could lead to a rekindling, and others insisting it was merely coincidence amplified by public curiosity. Allegedly, even those who attended the party could not confirm what actually transpired, leaving speculation as the only certainty. Tragedy intensified because of the timing. New Year's Eve is a night meant for new beginnings, yet for Porsha, it allegedly became a night of reflection, confrontation, and public judgment. The images, whether innocent or suggestive, forced her to confront history in front of millions of strangers. Every comment, every rumor, every viral thread became a reminder of the emotional complexity that fame carries and the human cost of living life under constant scrutiny. And still, silence ruled. Neither Porsha nor Simon issued a statement. The alleged photos spoke louder than any denial ever could. Fans debated endlessly. Commentators dissected every pixel. Allegedly, the absence of clarification only heightened the drama. The public became judge, jury, and chronicler, passing sentences on gestures, smiles, and fleeting moments. Every fan's interpretation added a new layer to the scandal, making the story more intense, more viral, and more emotionally charged than anyone could have anticipated. By midday, the alleged scandal had reached a point where it could no longer be ignored. Memes, reaction videos, and viral threads flooded the internet. People argued about intention, meaning, and context, but the underlying emotional tragedy remained the same. Two people navigating history, fame, and private emotion were suddenly thrust into global judgment, with no privacy, no space, and no control. Allegedly, the night had become a metaphor for celebrity life itself, glamorous, intense, and impossible to manage when the world watches every moment. And as the sun rose over the aftermath, one undeniable truth remained. The alleged leaked photos, the intimate gestures, and the speculation had created a viral phenomenon that no statement, no clarification, and no denial could erase. Tragedy, heartbreak, and unresolved emotion were now entwined with gossip, social media, and the relentless curiosity of millions. Allegedly, New Year's Eve became a reminder that some moments, some emotions, and some histories refuse to remain private, and when they are exposed, even inadvertently, the world will never look away. The question now isn't whether Porsha and Simon's chapter is closed. The question is whether some stories, once lived, can ever truly end. Allegedly, the images captured a night that was meant to celebrate a new beginning, yet instead reopened a history of love, heartbreak, and public scrutiny. And while the two remain silent, the internet continues to write its own version, speculate endlessly, and debate fiercely, ensuring that the tragedy, the drama, and the intensity will live on, viral, relentless, and emotionally unrelenting. Allegedly, what was meant to be a fleeting night of joy became a permanent symbol of heartbreak, gossip, and human vulnerability. Every glance, every gesture, every pixel is now immortalized, discussed, and debated, proving that some emotional stories refuse to end quietly, and some scandals refuse to fade away. In the world of celebrity, silence is never peace. Silence is a story waiting to explode. And just when you thought the night was over, the story refuses to die. Allegedly, those leaked photos are still circulating, still dissected, and still fueling conversations that no one can ignore. Every glance, every laugh, every subtle touch has become evidence, a symbol of unfinished chapters, and a reminder that some emotions refuse to stay buried. Fans are divided, theories are exploding, and the speculation shows no signs of stopping. The silence from Porsha and Simon only amplifies it, making every pixel, every frame, and every rumored gesture louder than any confession ever could be. Allegedly, the intensity of that night proves that public life and private emotion are never truly separate. What should have been a celebration, a simple ringing in of the new year, has instead become a viral storm, a digital courtroom, and a tragedy all at once. Every fan discussion, every thread, every screenshot is now part of the narrative, each one more intense, more shocking, and more emotionally charged than the last. The questions linger. Was it accidental? Was it intentional? Or is this simply a collision of past, present, and public obsession? Nobody knows, and that's exactly what makes it dangerous. For Porsha, the emotional stakes are higher than ever. Every click, every comment, every judgment weighs heavier than champagne, fireworks, or fleeting celebration. Allegedly, history refuses to stay quiet, and the internet refuses to look away. This is more than gossip. This is a lesson in fame, heartbreak, and the unrelenting power of exposure. And so, the world waits, watches, and debates, desperate to know what's real, what's imagined, and what could come next. The question isn't if there's more to the story, it's how far the storm will go before the silence finally speaks. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay tuned, because this scandal is far from over, and the next explosive chapter is already unfolding.